relinquish control. And I proudly introduce our district director, none other than DTM Jessica Silhavy, who will tell you all about her presentation today, and you will love it. It's a new year, and we get to hear from Jessica. This is her jam, as people say. Jessica.
Thank you, Program Quality Tamara. I'm excited to see so many people here this morning. I do like talking about vision and how it guides you throughout the year. At this time of year, I do get a lot of questions about setting goals because it is the beginning of the year and a lot of people begin setting goals. I prefer to look at the vision and maybe choose different words that support me instead of goals, because to me, I feel that goals are something you should be setting throughout the year as you continually grow and change and adjust, because life throws different situations at you and you do need to adjust those goals continually. But this is a perfect time of year to sit down and really look at your vision, because that helps you set your goals. And today, my presentation is your vision is your guide, because it does guide you. Over the course of this presentation, I will discuss why you should have a vision, how you can best share your vision, how to create a vision statement, and then how to create a vision statement with your club. Because as Toastmasters, we know it has become a part of our life. We can't set goals without thinking about Toastmasters and setting goals for our Toastmasters clubs as well, especially as officers. And to do that, we need to have a vision and see where we are going, because that vision is our guide. So why should you have a vision? Of course, this gives you a guide. When you want to go somewhere, you need to know where you are going before you determine how you get there. It helps keep your goals meaningful. If I wanted to become a person who eats healthier, yet I set a goal that gets me doing something such as giving more presentations, those two don't align. So we need that vision to know which goals to set. If I want to get healthier, I might want to set a goal that helps me maybe change a few meals throughout my day, or drink more water, get out and exercise more. On the other hand, if I'm looking at the vision of becoming a better presenter, I want to set goals that I'm going to give a speech once a month at my meetings. I am going to go through my projects in pathways, and I'm going to select which ones I want to complete each month. That's one way. And yes, as you noticed, I gave two, because you can have multiples. You don't have to just stick to one, because you have different areas in your life. Your life isn't just one area. I'm at home. I'm at work. You have all of those: work, home, career, business. Maybe you run a business, you Toastmaster, other organizations, such as Lillian with her Dylan's Dogs for Diabetes. She needs to know what she wants to do for that. There's a lot of different things in your life going on. So you need to have a vision for each of those areas in your life. And having that vision makes decision making easier. I say that with a little trepidation, because when you say easier, people will begin to think, oh, that'll be easy, I can do it. But it does take effort, and it does take time and practice. You have that vision, you get your choice. Again, let's go back to that healthier vision. Am I going to eat a salad, or am I going to eat that cake for lunch? You do need to stop and think, and sometimes it's not as easy. Sometimes I still might eat that cake, but knowing that you're going to eat that cake, even with that vision in mind, is the important part. You're doing it with your vision in mind so that you know what the result and the outcome will become instead of just haphazardly doing it without thinking. And it helps you keep your priorities at the top of your list. We all have priorities. We all know what we need to be doing, what we should be doing, but sometimes those get pushed down because they're not as easy as other things might be or might seem to be. Easy doesn't always mean best, so sometimes we do need to take that more difficult road. Having that vision with you allows you to do that. Those are reasons why you should have a vision. And again, like I said, you might have a vision for your home life. You might have a vision for your career. You might have a vision for Toastmasters. Maybe they overlap. Maybe you are in Toastmasters because of something you're doing in your career that you need to improve. And that's okay for them to overlap as well, but you need to know where you are going. So how do you best share that vision? When I say share, I am not necessarily talking about sharing with everybody or other people even, but sharing with you so that you can see it, putting it out there. Maybe it's a poster in your home, maybe it's on a screen on your computer. And that's why there's two different ways you can do that. And I actually recommend doing both. That's my personal preference. You could create a vision board and a vision statement. Mm-hmm. What is a vision board? We get that term thrown around, but what is it really? It is your vision in images, usually, maybe a few select words on a board. In the digital world, that board might be on your phone, might be an image on your phone. It might be a Pinterest board if you're into Pinterest. I can't say much about Instagram, but I think you could do something like that where you categorize things with Instagram or other applications. I know there's one called House that I've looked at, and that's a vision for your house. You just find pictures of different things you want in your house and you put them on a board there. So there's various different ways to do it virtually and offline. I personally prefer the offline version. I have not created mine for this year, but I do create them. Because what that does is it gives me something tactical and something I actually have to do with my hands. But what it does is it helps you visualize and see those positive outcomes that you want to see from your vision. And I'll get into a little bit more detail on how to create that board specifically a little bit later. And the same with the vision statement. The difference between a vision statement and a vision board is usually the vision statement is something written. It is a sentence or two. Saying that, it is less concrete than a mission statement where people get a little bit confused. Your vision helps lead to your mission. And it gives a path for your strategies. So a board is a pictorial representation. And a statement is that. It is a statement that gives you a path, a beginning and an end. As I mentioned, we were going to talk about how to create a vision board. And I'm going to go over the ways to create the vision board physically before I go into the mental work of creating that vision board. The best way I like to do it is whether you're online or offline, you get the source you need. I grab magazines and I just grab random magazines around the house because honestly, it doesn't matter. You can always find a picture or maybe a word or cut out and make your own words from that magazine, any magazines, because you just need a picture that represents something. For example, one year, it was many, many years ago, when Biggest Loser was really popular. And I share this because a lot of people can connect with this. Biggest Loser was a weight loss show, and one of the trainers on there was Bob Harper. And I cut out a picture of him. And that was to represent the fact that I wanted to be like him. And over the course of the next year, I actually went and got my personal training certification. So it was a representation of what I wanted to achieve without necessarily being a picture of a certification. Some people might want a picture of a certification. But you look through all those pictures, scroll through Pinterest, which we know social media can be that suck that time out of you and you can get lost there. But this, I give you permission, set a timer for 15 minutes, scroll through, look at pictures, and just click on any that stand out to you, that make you say, and stop for a minute. Because at this point, it doesn't matter. We will sort through that later. But just pull out all those pictures out of magazines, a word, maybe there's a word that stands out. Pull out that word, cut it out, and just make your stack or make one board with just everything on there. Then after that 15 minutes, walk away. Whether you're doing this virtually or offline, set a timer for 15 minutes and then walk away. Come back tomorrow, because that gives your brain time to process and think about all those ideas you have going through your head. And you will begin to think about them whether you want to or not. They'll be there and you'll be contemplating them. And you'll get those moments where you're like, oh yeah. Maybe you need to go pull something out real fast. But what you do is you come back the next day and you go through all those images, all those words, look at them one by one. I know it's a little bit of a task, but look through them by one, delete or toss the ones you don't want, that don't fit what you really want, and keep the ones that do, and then place them, put them on your board. Put them whichever board, if you have physical board, virtual board, put those ones only on your board. You can have as many or as little as you want. Maybe you just want one. Maybe you want the board plastered. That's up to you, and that's a decision you'll have to make. But go through those, because sometimes we'll pull out something and we're like, that's really, yeah, I'd like that, but that doesn't fit my vision, or it's not something I'm really going to put my effort into achieving this year. And that's okay. We have all these grandiose ideas that come to our head. I want to do this. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that would be really cool. But if we get stuck in all of those, we can't create that streamlined vision that's going to take us to that one point we really want to be, because we'll be distracted. It's like going on vacation. I remember growing up, we would go on vacation and we'd go somewhere, but on the way, we'd be like, oh, that's a really cool stop. And we'd stop. But if we did that for every stop along the way, we would never get to where we wanted to go. And that did happen sometimes. Luckily for me and my family growing up, we camped. So it was okay for us to stop some of those times. But sometimes it wasn't. We didn't have a campground. So we needed to get to the one we were aiming for. And still, even when we go on vacation, you have that list of all these things on that itinerary that you want to do, and you realize, oh, I want to spend so much more time here. I'm not going to be able to get to, and that's where we need to bring it all back in and say, what is it that we want to achieve or that we want to do, and only pick out those things that will help us get there. And your vision board should be reflecting your vision statement at this point. I know, I did the vision board first. But let's take and that's because that's how you can create it. But it's there to help you achieve your vision statement. And that's why I say you should really create both. And your vision board could actually help you create your vision statement too. So how do you do that? I've been doing a lot of reading over the last couple years about homeschooling, because that's what I've started doing with my children, and I know that's what I want to do. But this lady that I've been reading, she has this quote called, I am, I can, I ought, I will. It has held a dear place to me. And she's talking about being an educator, a teacher in a classroom or a home educator. But what I discovered is you can take this quote and apply it to your personal life or even my business life, my personal life, my business life. And I want to share it with you because you can too. What does it mean? I am right now at this moment. What am I doing? Who am I? How would I describe myself? I am a mom. I am a teacher. I am a Toastmaster. I am district director. All these things I am. I am I am not as healthy as I would like to be. I am getting ready to go on a trip. I am trying to spend more time in nature. All these things are what I am. What are you doing? What are you? Who are you? How would you describe yourself? Then all the things I can. What can I do? What can you do? I can read books. I can go outside and spend time outside. I can lead a great group of leaders. I can help others. I can share my passion with others. All those things I can. I can work out daily. Now let's move to the next one. I ought. I ought. What should I do? What ought I do? Well, I ought to eat healthier. I should probably work out more. I should probably give a few more speeches. I should probably get some more scheduling done. I should be better at time management. All these I ought and I should things. What is it that you ought to do? What you should do? And then finally, I will. I know what I am. I know what I can do. I know what I ought to do. What will I do? And this is where the vision statement really comes in. What will I do? I will schedule time to go outside with Corbin. I will schedule my speeches. I will have better communication with my district leaders. I will work on using the calendar better. All these different things. One place I know that many people start, I started, and I'm thinking you might start there too, is with the I ought. Because we have all those, especially in January, all these goals. Because goals are, I ought. I should lose more weight. I should go outside more. I should give more speeches. But let's take a step back from that. What can I do? What am I doing? So if I ought to do these things, I know I should be doing them, but what am I doing instead? Can I close that gap? Can I go from what I am doing to what I ought to be doing, which in turn becomes I will do this because I can close that gap now. So I will. And that to me is why this is such a powerful quote. All of that processing and thinking can be done. It is a simple quote. And you know what I learned? This was the school motto at her school. She had her students recite this every day. What would happen if you recited this every day? I am, I can, I ought, I will. It's about decision making. Remember we went at the beginning, we talked about having that vision statement, which makes decision making easier. Let's take this and apply it to our vision statement, where we want to be. That's your vision statement. It should be ambitious, a little bit more than what you are doing right now. Remember, I am doing this now, but I ought and I will be doing this. So it should be a little bit ambitious. Take your step outside where you are, outside your comfort zone. Make it a little difficult for you because you want to stretch. I know you've heard that term before. When you set goals, you want stretch goals. Well, you want your mission statement to be ambitious so you can set those stretch goals. It needs to be feasible, something you can actually accomplish, and you know you can. Look at your life, look at your situation, and make it feasible. If your club, can you still hear me? Okay, thank you. If your club meets every week, you might say, I'm going to give a speech every week. And that would be great and that would be ambitious, but is that something you can do? Do you have the time to do that? Does your club have the space in their agenda for you to do that? Are you going to be able to prepare a speech every week? If the answer is no to any of those, you might want to think about giving a speech every other week. That's if your club meets every week. If your club meets every other week already, do you want to give a speech once a month or twice a month? And again, think about, do you have the time to prepare it? Do you have the club space on the agenda to do that? Another thing, if I want to give a speech twice a week, or twice a month, twice a month, I can still do that, but I might not be able to get it into my club's agenda, but do I have the time to visit other clubs and give those speeches? So you need to think about all these things that make it feasible for you. Is it something you can actually achieve based on your life, your situation? A vision statement is to be broad. We've heard goal setting. A lot of times you go to the SMART goals. You know, you want them to be measurable and specific and attainable, but you want them to be specific. A mission statement is broad. And I will show a little bit how to create a mission statement a little bit later, but a mission statement is broad. My mission is to become healthier this year so that I can, and whatever that might be. That's broad. Then you get your goals, all the little steps you'll take. I'll drink 8 cups of water every day. I will exercise 30 minutes every other day. Those get specific, but your statement is broad because it covers and encompasses all those goals. And it's strategic. It does have an end in mind. Like I had said, if I want to get healthier, I'm going to get healthier so that I can go down the water slide with my children, so that I can run that half marathon. I will become a better presenter so that I feel more comfortable when I do online videos. That's a broad statement, and it's strategic because I know what the end goal is. I know why I want to do that. It's like a map when you're going on vacation. You have a map, you go from start point A, and I want to get here. That's your goal, is to get to a destination. Maybe it's Orlando, Florida. But along the way now, you can set different goals. I will stop every 3 hours to go to the bathroom. We will stop at the pecan factory. Different goals like that you can set along the way, but you know where your ultimate destination is. And yes, I know my hand was off the screen. I apologize. But that's what you need to think about when you set your mission statement. Is it ambitious? Is it a little outside your comfort zone? Is it feasible? Can you actually accomplish it? Is it broad enough that you have room to get those specific details and you know what your destination is and your starting point? So we have all this personalized vision. We know what we want to do for ourselves. Let's take it to the next level, because here we are all club officers sitting in this room, and we want to take it to the next level. How can I now take what I'm using for myself and apply it to my club? First step is to have your executive meeting. Schedule an executive meeting and schedule one this month in January, because you want to get with your officers as soon as possible so you can finish out the rest of this year. At the beginning of the Toastmasters year in July, you should also try to get that vision out as soon as possible. But at this point in January, at that executive meeting, pull out your club success plan. Take a look at it. Read through those goals that you set for your club in July, because that helped, those goals were helping you achieve your vision for your club. So now we're here in January. Let's take a look at them again and start discussing and brainstorming ideas. These are the goals we set. This was our original vision. What do we want for the vision of our club come June 30th? What do we want our club to look like? How many members? How many educational goals? How many people volunteering or willing to fill officer positions, fill speaking positions? All those different goals. Then, after you've done the brainstorming, you've taken that list. This all might not be, let me throw in a caveat here. This all may not be done in one executive meeting. You may have to have more. You may have to have the first one. You say, okay, we're having an executive meeting this date. Look over the success plan. When we come to our meeting, we're going to discuss and brainstorm. So now you have a whole list of ideas. You've discussed it with your executive team. Now let's take those brainstormed ideas and make them into details. Let's get detailed about what it will actually look like. Let's pick the ones we want to use. Come June 30th, our club will, and that's a great way to start, or our club's purpose, even better because it's a vision statement. The purpose of our club is to have engaged members who are excited, jumping out of their seats to give speeches at our next meeting, at our meetings. We have members completing at least one educational goal each year. Those are all visions. So once you get that vision, now we need to determine how are we going to get there? What do we need to do as club officers to encourage our members to take these steps, to do this? What is that going to look like for us? Because that goes beyond the vision statement. That goes into the goals. But I wanted to include that in here because it is very important to have goals along with your vision statement. After you determine the purpose of your club is to, let's go back and set goals so that we can get there. And remember, use the I am, I can, I ought, I will quote, but replace the I with the club. The club is, the club can, club members, membership, club membership can, the club ought, the club will. These all take you steps further in seeing your vision and achieving your club's vision. And then remember to write it down. You have a secretary, write it down. And then through email, share it with your club members. Through any social media you use, share it with your club membership. Share that vision in your meetings. Each and every meeting, remind your members what your club vision statement is. I'm going to add a little bit here. Remember, we have the club mission, which is very detailed. It is concrete. That is the mission of the club. We want to help improve leadership, build self-confidence, and personal growth. So what is our club vision statement that can help achieve that? And then what are our club goals that can help achieve the vision statement, which will help us achieve our club mission? Here's Toastmasters International's vision statement. If you didn't know they had a vision statement, they do. They have a vision as well as their mission. And remember, Toastmasters International has a mission statement, a district mission statement, and a club mission statement. And this is their vision statement. Toastmasters International envisioned future to be the first choice provider of dynamic, high-value, experiential communication and leadership skills development. That is their vision. That's how the world headquarters, that's how everyone sees Toastmasters International. That's how outsiders are to view it. So how do they achieve that? They create their success plan. Do you know that? They have a success plan as well, and all of you are involved in that success plan. You all play a part in that success plan by being club officers. And I think if you were to take this vision statement, share it with your members, share it with your other officers, you could create an exceptional vision statement for your club as well. And you could take your club to the next level. Take your club beyond where it is now. Because remember, we want that vision statement to be a push. We want it to be ambitious. All of you here are club officers. Any one of you, whether even if you're not a president, you can say, hey, we need to have an executive meeting. We need to get our club vision in place so that we can continue, so that we can achieve the best that our club can achieve. To help you do that, there are distinguished club performance reports on Toastmasters International's website. It's called the dashboard, and sometimes you'll hear it as DCP dashboard. But you can go on there and look and see the status of your club. You can see which goals your club has completed. You can see which goals your club still needs to complete. You can look at your membership. You can look at your beginning membership. Remember July 1st, your club had a specific number of members. To become a distinguished club, you need to have a net growth of 3 or 20 members. So if your club had 18 or more members, you need to be at 20. If your club had 17 or fewer members, you need to have 3. A net growth of 3 members this year. Some of you are thinking, I thought it was 5, because it was. But this year, our president, Matt Kinsey, along with the board of directors, decided that their goal this year is to get as many clubs as possible distinguished, as many districts as possible distinguished. So they wanted to give you the benefit. They wanted to reduce it to 3 because we have all been through so much over the last couple of years. And they want you to be able to look at your club at the end of the year and say, yes, we did it. We're distinguished. And we can do it next year and the year after that. But how do you do that? With a vision statement that helps you achieve the club mission of Toastmasters International. As you leave here today, because it's going to be an exciting filled day, we have this presentation. Now you know how to create that vision statement. Tamara's going to come in and share that distinguished club performance report. That's why I'm not sharing it now, because she's going to share about it and she's going to explain how to use that. And using that, you can create your vision statement. And then you all go into your officer breakout rooms. And during those sessions, you'll see how you, as your specific officer role, whether it's president, club president, vice president membership, vice president education, secretary, sergeant at arms, treasurer, vice president public relations, whichever officer position you feel. Yes, I did not say those in order. Why? Because every officer position is just as important. You each hold a piece to achieving club excellence. And that right there is part of the district mission. We build and support all clubs in achieving excellence. And that is what I want to leave you with today. Take it and use it with your clubs. Madam Program Quality Director.